A slot machine tucked in the far left corner of a once busy casino suddenly started acting strange. It wasn't flashy, not one of those themed machines, just a plain three-reel setup with cherry symbols, faded paint, and a mechanical clunk when you pulled the handle. Most people passed by it without a second glance. It looked dated, boring. But then, throughout just 2 nights, that old machine paid out more than $4.2 million. At first, no one thought much of it. Slot machines are unpredictable by nature. Jackpots can happen at any time, and casinos build their business around that rush of chance. But what raised eyebrows wasn't just the payout, it was the rate of the payouts. The machine began giving out large sums every 20 minutes. Not small wins, full jackpots, and no 2 winners were the same. High rollers, tourists, a janitor on break, even a woman who said she hadn't gambled in over a decade. Word began to spread, and soon people were lining up, completely ignoring the newer machines with their flashing lights and bonus rounds. Everyone wanted a chance with the old machine tucked away in the corner. By the second night, the atmosphere had shifted. Security started to hover nearby. Staff on the floor looked nervous. Surveillance footage showed something strange. Each big win was followed by a roughly 10-minute cooldown. Then, almost like clockwork, another surge, another winner, another jackpot. Technicians were called in. They ran diagnostics. The machine's hardware and firmware hadn't been updated in years, and they weren't connected to any external network. Yet there it was, still spitting out wins as if it had an agenda of its own. By morning on the 3rd day, the machine was gone. Not broken, not shut down, just gone. Replaced overnight by a completely different model. A newer one, sleek and digital, with a tropical theme and bright, colorful lights. When curious regulars asked what happened to the old one, staff acted confused. Some claimed there was never a machine in that spot. Others insisted it had been removed years ago. Even stranger, there was no official record of any payouts, no receipts, no digital logs. The machine simply vanished from the books. Surveillance footage for those 2 nights? Corrupted. Not erased, corrupted. Just that camera feed. The rest of the casino system worked perfectly, but that one corner where the machine had been was nothing but static. That should have been the end of the story. Casinos don't like loose ends, and they're experts at shutting things down quietly. But then the internet got involved. A Reddit post from 2019 described an eerily similar event. Same machine description, same flood of payouts, same sudden disappearance. That story came from a riverboat casino in Missouri. Another user chimed in, recalling an old gambling hall in Macau back in 2004 that reportedly shut down for technical maintenance after a slot machine paid out more than $1 million in under 36 hours, and then vanished. The similarities were too precise to be ignored. Naturally, people began offering theories. One explanation pointed to a rare software glitch. Some claimed that outdated slot machine firmware could, under very specific timing conditions, fall into a payout loop. A bug buried deep in the machine's logic board, perhaps triggered by a sequence of lever pulls or internal clock misalignment. But here's the catch. Those old machines aren't networked. They don't receive updates. They run on closed-loop systems that haven't changed in decades. Any glitch would have to be physical, not digital. Technicians who had access to the machines during these events reported nothing unusual. No exposed wiring, no tampering. Everything looked perfectly ordinary. Another theory was an inside job. A rogue employee, perhaps someone with deep technical knowledge, could have modified the machine to release winnings selectively. Using specialized chips, it's technically possible to manipulate outcomes. But why give out millions to random strangers? Why not funnel the money to a single insider? And how do you wipe security footage and remove all logs without detection? Even internal conspiracies have limits, and a trail. Then came the idea that this might be part of a test. A few speculative comments proposed the machine could have been running an experimental AI algorithm, not to control outcomes necessarily, but to analyze behavior. One supposed ex-consultant for a casino software company claimed that in the late 2010s, there were quiet initiatives to test AI integration in gaming machines. These weren't designed to cheat players, but to study how players responded emotionally to rewards. Who celebrated? Who returned for more? Who told others? The theory suggested that the machine wasn't broken, it was learning. tracking human patterns, reactions, even conversations. And when it had enough data, it vanished. But there's a fourth theory, the strangest of them all. What if it wasn't a glitch or a hack or a test, but a psychological experiment? Think about it. A machine that appears suddenly, pays out to random individuals, and then disappears without a trace. No records, no explanation. The perfect ghost. Could it be part of a secret study, maybe even funded by an academic institution or government entity? Gambling halls offer a unique environment. Closed systems, high emotion, constant surveillance, and a steady stream of diverse participants. It's a ready-made lab for studying human behavior under pressure. And a rogue machine offering sudden wealth? That's the ultimate variable. Some dismiss the story as just a modern urban legend, the kind of creepy tale that thrives in online forums. But then came the photo. A grainy, low-resolution image posted to a nearly inactive Facebook group showed a machine identical to the one described. Same layout, same cherry symbols, same crack on the handle. The post claimed the photo was taken in 2017, geotagged to an underground casino in the Philippines. The caption read, "Last jackpot before it disappeared." Hours after the post went live, the account was deactivated. The image was removed. No metadata remained. It was as if the photo had been plucked from digital existence, but a few users had already saved it. The resemblance was uncanny. The deeper people dug, the weirder things got. A Redditor who analyzed public casino data tried to piece together the payout patterns. Based on eyewitness testimonies and known jackpot times, they calculated the total amount paid out before the disappearance to be exactly $4.29 million. Not a rough estimate, exactly. Why does that matter? Because that number just so happens to match the maximum payout threshold that triggers mandatory compliance audits in several jurisdictions. It's almost like the machine knew when to stop, right before raising red flags with gaming authorities. To this day, no one has publicly reported seeing the same machine again, but whispers still appear in gambling subreddits and obscure message boards. In 2022, someone in Atlantic City said they encountered a machine that felt off. Same old school layout, same payout behavior, 3 jackpots in 1 hour. Then it froze. The next morning, gone. Casino staff denied it had ever existed. There's been no mainstream coverage, no journalists digging in, no whistleblowers stepping forward, just a growing digital graveyard of deleted posts, blurred images, and secondhand stories. And every time someone tries to gather all the pieces into one place, the thread mysteriously vanishes. Banned accounts, removed content, shadow bans. The question isn't just what the machine was, but why it operated the way it did. If this is an elaborate hoax, it's remarkably consistent across years, countries, and platforms. If it's real, then someone or something is running an operation so covert that even casinos, among the most highly regulated and surveilled businesses on Earth, are powerless to stop it, perhaps ordered to stay silent. So the next time you walk through a casino, don't just follow the noise in the crowds. Look for the quiet machine in the corner, the one without fancy animations, the one nobody seems to remember seeing before. And if you pull the lever and the reels line up and the coins start pouring out like a waterfall, ask yourself something. You might think you're just lucky, but what if you're being watched? Because if you win, really win, don't count on finding that machine again the next day. Some jackpots aren't the result of luck at all, but of something else. Something that observes, waits, and then vanishes without a trace once it's done with you, just like it always has.